I guess I want to start off by, matter of fact, Lorinda, you're the newest one on today. Tell everybody who you are, what you do, please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lorinda Buckingham. For those who may not know me, I'm a leadership and business coach, and I help businesses and entrepreneurs discover how to become better leaders and how to grow their businesses, and also to how to be better leaders in a digital environment. So that's one of my specialties that I'm involved with, and I'm just here observing. So that's it.
Yeah, I
I don't know if
invited
y'all
you.
have any questions. I don't know if y'all have questions for me, but that's all I have. I have three children, three beautiful blessings. Taylor is 10, Kendall is 8, Jace is 3, going on 4. I've been married for 14 years, so I'm a family woman too. And so I'm a part of this pandemic of the homeschool and the business owner thing at the same time. So I got my hands and my feet in.
Sounds good.
And
Okay.
what was your name again?
Lorinda Buckingham.
How do you spell
I
that?
bet you that. I bet
You
you that
know
was
what? I
John.
think I know. You know what? I
I
can't
bet you
even.
that was
I'm getting.
John.
You know what? Get off of here.
I bet you that was John.
You know John now.
Yeah,
John. He's still hilarious. Yes, I
Yeah.
do know him.
yeah.
You
Life
know
of the
John.
party.
Yep.
You know, I
Yes.
resemble that remark.
Uh, I heard that. Okay. You guys want to tell Lorinda what Lorinda knows me. You guys want to tell basically what you want to do? Go ahead, Anime.
I'm here. Okay, my name is Ina Copeland. I'm an unfranchised owner with a Market America Shop.com, which is a product brokerage and an internet marketing company. And we specialize in health and nutrition, natural cosmetics, skincare, weight maintenance, website, debt shredders, and also we're partnered with over 4,500 different stores like Nike, Walmart, anything that you possibly want to shop. We teach you how to shop and how to save money and how to get your merchandise there without paying a lot of money. And I'm mother of 2 boys, 3 grandchildren. Been married for only 52 years.
I hear that. All righty, Michelle, you want to roll?
Wow, only 52 years. Okay, I need to have a
Oh,
talk with you, and you need to go ahead and share some of that wisdom, lay some hands on me, and give me some oil. God bless you.
I heard that.
Well, it took us 21 days to know each other before we got married. So
Is that right? And been married 52 years
21
since.
days. Wow.
Yep. I heard
Wow.
that. And stuck it out 52 years. I heard that I did.
Yeah, she needs that book needs to be out, huh?
You ain't lying. All right, Michelle, go ahead.
Oh, they know me, Steve.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Loretta knows you.
Yeah, they know
Okay.
me.
Renee.
Yes, I know Michelle.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Um,
Hello, I'm Renee Rowe. I'm Chief Operating Officer with SideQuest Business Solutions. We're an HR outsourcing and staffing company here in the Atlanta area. We're also a federal government contractor, so we have employees throughout the country. Our specialty, there is none. We do everything and anything that has to do with human resources and human capital. So if you have any hiring needs, let me know. And if you need any policies, procedures, employee relations, we handle all of it.
sounds good. Okay. Well, we don't have anybody else. She knows John. I already know you do. Uh, so we can go ahead and let's skip on to the next page. Um, as you know, last week, the leadership group, we met with Valencia Williamson, who is the president and CEO of Clayton County Chamber of Commerce. She was so impressed with our roundtable group that she recommended that I join the Clayton County Economic um, Development Strategic Planning Initiative, and I accepted. And this is a a management group based out of Clayton State University. And it's called, let me see, it's the Clayton State University Medical Crest. It's called CREST. And it's an economic research center housed in the Clayton County College of Business. The center, they said the center is currently working on the Clayton County Strategic Economic Development Plan, sponsored by the Development Authority of Clayton County. The strategic plan will provide business leaders and government officials with the implementational policies focusing on attracting and retaining businesses, enhancing the quality of the workforce, and improving the quality of life for all residents. So, with my health, such as it is, I kind of thought that it would be nice if I could get us 2 seats on this committee, and I was able to do so. Because if something was happening to me, I would hate for the round table to just be out of the box, to be out of the loop. So I was able to get Michelle Dawkins on. So we've ended up with 2 seats in the committee.
Fantastic. Go, Michelle.
So I thought that would be good. But
Yeah, and I've been communicating back and forth with
Vinod Vincent.
Vinod, yeah, I keep saying his name wrong, but Vinod.
Vinod is the management professor over at Clayton State University. Go ahead, Michelle.
Oh, and so, hopefully, like I said, there's a lot of things that we really want to get done. So as we put together our strategic plan, we're going to incorporate some of what they're doing. And also, I hope that while we're over at Clayton State, that we can begin to develop a relationship, because we know businesses thrive off of relationships, but that we can develop a relationship such that we can begin utilizing their students so that we can mentor them and utilize them as interns. I just find that intellectual, that intellectual capital is invaluable during this time. It's not always about, getting money, but it's always about getting resources. And I really am pushing for that.
Right. And I think being on that committee will open up a few doors for us also. At least we'll have the insights. We'll have the insights into a lot of things and a lot of people.
Right.
So I think that was a very good thing that happened to us last week.
Yes.
So, Michelle, while we got you here, would you share a little bit of COVID with us right now?
Okay, so as we know, the numbers are growing. It is almost inevitable that I don't know, Georgia's a different breed, but there are several other states that have already started implementing shutdowns, curfews, and things like that. Our governor is a different breed, so I don't know what that's going to mean in the next 2 months, but I do know that there is a very concerted effort. Once this new president, 46, walks in the door, that's where we're headed. We will be doing a mandated lockdown. And so I am in the process of getting as much information as I possibly can. I will be providing as I did with the Deep South Center for Environmental Justice. We were fortunate enough to get information right off of the presses as NIH was putting that information out there. We were able to get that information and put it right out to our communities. And so we're looking at doing the same thing. I'm still working with that particular organization, and Georgia is one of the states that I'm working with now since I am the contractor with them. So I want to make sure that we get that information out, but there's a whole lot of other things that are coming down the pike that will be involved in that, and I will try my best to make sure that you all are made familiar with it. But right now, the numbers, as I said, are growing. People are still getting sick. People are still not wearing masks. So the encouragement, of course, is that we exercise those 3 principles: the social distancing, the washing of your hands, and the, just if you notice any signs or anything like that, making sure that, if you feel like you're getting sick, and it's not to the point where you're losing your oxygen. That's the biggest thing. The oxygen is one of the telltale signs that you do need to check yourself into a hospital, but if not, you would treat it as if it is the flu. Georgia's been fortunate. I mean, our hospital beds are not like some of the other states where they're having to ship you other places, but it is going to definitely affect the small businesses as we move toward the end of the year. They are anticipating 40% of the businesses will probably close and never open up again. And we're seeing that now. So it's not to make people alarmed, it's just to make you aware. And like I said, as we're being fed this information, I will try to make sure that I get that information out to you.
Okay.
That additional information, but there's some really hot and heavy stuff coming down the pike right now.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, well, I've asked John to say a few words about his business to us this evening because John shared back in the day what he actually does, and he kind of opened up my eyes to quite a few things as far as what the counseling can do to actually help small businesses. So, John, you got the floor.
Gee, you gave me the floor, Renee left. That's one way of doing business.
I am still here. As a matter of fact, I am getting my notebook, John.
Yeah. What a welcoming response. I'm out of here. Well, good evening, afternoon. Once again, everybody knows my name is John Myers. I'm the owner operator of Hey Can We Talk Counseling, which is also the name of the first book I published, which is called Hey Can We Talk. I run a counseling service where I specialize in marriage, premarital life, grief, trauma, spiritual counseling, any counseling across the board I do. I don't prescribe medication. I think many of our problems we face today can be solved through much of the information we can find in scripture. One of the things I do in regards to small businesses, there's a mega statement out there we've heard many times when we go to work where they tell us to leave our personal problems at home and don't bring your personal problems in the business. That's kind of ludicrous because if it's your personal problem, it's going to follow you no matter where you go. One of the things is great leaders should recognize when their employees have a personal problem, and the quicker they can give that employee some assistance, some help, some counseling, some relief, the more productive that employee will become. We sometimes tell people to stifle those problems, but if you're going through a marital situation, your child is sick, or you're going through something, it's really difficult for you to concentrate on some work and be effective in that job. That's where I come in. Right now, my specialty is directing more and more towards relationship counseling. So within that standpoint, I teach women how to talk to men. I teach men how to talk to women. You'd be surprised the big difference in our DNA when women talk to men as if we're women and men talk to women as if they're men. So I teach that communication and teach them how to flip it over. In premarital counseling, I teach them all the things that they will face within a relationship, from sex to orgasms, to sex toys, to finances, to romance, to everything that will affect the relationship. We cover it. So when they go into their relationships, they don't have the solution for these things, but they're well aware of it. Even simple things as timeouts and off-limit places, meaning if you get in an argument, what's off-limit places that we cannot attend until we solve the argument? There's nothing worse than you walking out of the house. Now, when you come back, you're still arguing about that problem and where you've been. So there's certain things to put couples at ease. So we know you're cooling down as far as relatives, relationships. These are things that will create a better workforce. Alcohol, all those type of things that will find out not necessarily that they're using alcohol, but to find out why. Many times people do things, and if you can answer the question why, then I don't push it that much. But most of the time when people are doing things, my question is, why do you do that? And if you can't answer the question why, then that's a problem we need to take a look at and say, let's go down that road. No answer is too outrageous for me. I've heard them all, believe me. Well, there was one guy that did shock me. So that one's still number one on the slate. And I don't complicate the simple. I keep everything as simple as possible. And we just deal with straight fact real problems. One of the biggest thing I'm seeing that's affecting especially the Black woman is how many women we got on here? One,
All of them.
You're outnumbered.
All of them.
all righty then. I'm going in deep. Okay. One of the big things that's affecting the Black woman is she's picked up a stereotype of I've got to be tough. I totally disagree with that. I believe the Black woman has to do tough things, but she does not have to be tough. When you pick up the concept of being tough, that means you become tough exterior, you become tough interior, and you become callous and cold. That's something I think we're picking up from social media. The Black man picked it up many years ago. Now I see the Black woman picking it up. What I do is I remind you, we live on a planet called Earth where human beings live. We make mistakes, we fall short. It is really, really, really okay to be human. It's okay to hurt, it's okay to cry, it's okay to suffer pain, but it's not okay to be tough. God never called us to do tough things or to be tough, but he has called us to do tough things. And that's the big thing that I try to get people to understand. Once we realize that I don't have to be tough, then we move, those people seem to move back to planet Earth and they start enjoying life a little better. Until then, they live on these distant planets where we don't cry, we don't hurt. The other thing that we picked up is I have to work twice as hard. I've heard it when I was growing up in the Black community, being Black, I got to work twice as hard as everybody else. As I've gotten a little bit older, I disagree with that. I just need to come to work and do my best. That's all I have to do. I can't do anything other because the other person's lifestyle may be different from mine. You may be a single parent with 3 kids. You can't work harder than the other guy who has no kids and can play all day and then stay 4 or 5 hours after work to make it look like he's important. So what I teach people is, when I do my coaching, is just come to work, do your best. Once you do your best, you're done. Any questions for me?
I don't have a question, but I have a comment.
You may, as long as it agree with me, you'll feel free to make a comment.
Well, you see, I love your sign behind you, Amazing Grace.
Yeah.
Yep.
There we go.
Awesome.
Huh?
I have a comment or a question, John.
Yes,
What
ma'am.
have you seen now with COVID? What are you seeing now in terms of, you know, in comparison to what you were doing before, now with COVID?
I'll answer that question in 2 ways. First of all, with me, COVID has definitely proven that you can teach an old dog new trick. I was not big. I've adapted some of the male chauvinistic attitudes of, I believe in shaking people's hands face to face, eye to eye. I watch them walk from their vehicles to their vehicles just to see if they're putting on a show, how they carry themselves. So I've learned to use Zoom technology, which is you can teach an old dog new tricks. The other thing that COVID is bringing out, COVID is forcing people to be more isolated. And what I'm seeing is there are many people who are not happy with themselves. Because it's almost like being in a prison confinement. I've never been there, so I'm just guessing. I have never been there. I am guessing. Lorinda can probably tell us a lot more, but oh, I'm sorry, Lorinda.
Wow.
People who are not. People
You
who
know
are,
what?
That was too long a delay, Lorinda, but anyway.
I was trying to unmute. I couldn't find it fast enough.
you couldn't get to that mute button.
I couldn't get to that mute button fast enough.
The thing that I'm finding out with the COVID is when you're not happy with yourself, many of these people have been hiding. Now you can't hide anymore.
Right.
And those people, if they're not happy with themselves, now they're miserable and they can't seem to. I didn't know it was a kissing moment on my time. All right, everybody kiss.
That was right on time. Tell
I
her
didn't
she
know
was
it
right
either.
on time.
That was a shock to me.
Yeah, so as people are not happy with themselves, they're becoming more and more frustrated, agitated. So this is where they're kind of like in their wilderness period where they have to find who they are, whose they are, what their purpose. And they've been hiding from that for so long with just I can go to work and hide. I can come home and hide. Now there's no place to hide. Their true selves are being revealed, and they have to deal with that. Worse yet, if they've been, I think people like to call it representatives of themselves with each other. Now those two true people are coming out, and this is where they're realizing, hey, we may have built a relationship on the wrong things. Now, when they come to me, we go back to the basics and saying, let's throw this out and let's start all over again. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes,
I have
Ms.
a
Renee.
question for you that you
Yes, ma'am.
like. I put in the chat. Do you take insurance?
As of now, I don't. I take the HSA card. The only thing there are two reasons why I don't take insurance. Number one, I hit the wrong button here. I didn't want to work under some guy for 3 to 4 years driving up and down the city of Atlanta making $13 an hour while I go see a whole bunch of disturbed people. And the second thing is with insurance, they want all your personal records. I keep my notes vague enough that I understand it. So if anybody comes in and reads your notes, they have no clue. Some days I got no clue what I wrote. So they have no clue what they're reading. And I don't like, if you share your information with them, that's on you. You're comfortable with them. I don't like giving out your personal information. So I decided not to go that route.
Okay,
So if a company sent somebody to you, would you be able to validate
Yes.
their attendance and their
Yes.
progress and all of that stuff?
Yes, I can. I've done that before. Give receipts. I can write what the company. I'll sit down with the company, find out what they require, and we go through that. It all falls under mental health. Take for instance, I was listening to Renee talk about her kids, and I'm sure there's some stress factor you're facing in that continuously. So here's something. You mind if I use an example, Renee?
No, go ahead, because I'm like, Steve, you open up a can of worms. We might be here for like 2 hours because I have a lot of questions for John.
Hey, we all need some counseling. We all getting some counseling, so get on down.
All right.
Here's something I'm finding out with the woman. We as men, we really don't run into this problem, but women run into it so much. Women tend to lose themselves in motherhood, wifehood, workhood, and they forget that they're women. They forget they're beautiful, they're sexy, they're charming. They start forgetting those things. And what I do is I usually ask women to describe themselves. You'll be amazed at how many wives describe themselves as Boy Scouts. When you start describing yourself as a Boy Scout, first thing I do, I give you the Scout's oath. We go through that. And it shows me that you've been missing people pouring into you, and you've been missing you pouring into yourself. Even on an airplane, the first thing they tell you is you put your mask on first. Yeah. So this is why I see so many women are draining themselves and they're empty. So then they forget to do one of the simple things that make them women, and that is how to dress, how to carry yourself, not just in a work environment, but all the way through the home. One of the things that women miss, and unfortunately you cannot change it because it's a male DNA. It's our DNA. It's our DNA. It's our DNA. Did I tell you it's our DNA?
I think you did.
Okay, I just want to make sure I mention that, because I forget that sometimes. We as men, we're visual. We always will be, always have been. We're visual. You cannot change that. And many women try to change that, and unfortunately you lose. We're visual. So it's teaching women that there are 5 things that you can, most women I know, they fight the wrong way. And I teach women how to fight. If you want to fight and argue with your husband, use the 5 things that we cannot fight against. These things you use that cut our hearts. Most women, you cut our skin. It's kind of like a boxing match. You cut my eye, I got a guy come by, put some Vaseline in it, put a patch over it, slap me on the face, and I go back out there and fight.
Yep.
But if you cut my heart, I can't move. If you cut my heart, I speak in tongues. I start going, oh, babe, I'm sorry. And cutting my heart means you're going to use the 5 tools that we as men cannot stand against. There are 5 tools you have. Every woman has that we cannot fight against. You have your charm, your beauty, your personality, your sex appeal, and your figure. We can't fight against that. But those are the 5 tools you throw away, and you want to fight. And I use the word fight, not in a physical sense, but even in quarrels. Right. You want to go through a battle as man to man, like a lady told me, it's like 2 bulls in a china shop. Yeah. My question is, why does your house have 2 bulls? Yeah. So she's viewing herself as a tough bull. What does her husband view her as? A tough bull also? I've never seen 2 bulls try to mate or even be intimate. Mm-hmm. That destroys intimacy. The strongest man that ever lived, the most strongest man that ever lived in the entire world was Samson. And we all know how he fell. He fell by a woman that used her charm, her beauty, her personality, her sex appeal, and her figure. When the whole Philistine army could not bring him down, she cried in his ear, and he told her everything. He told her his PIN number, his mama PIN number, where they keep the money, where the bank is located. He told her everything.
You got that right.
The greatest man ever lived, Jesus said the greatest man ever lived was John the Baptist. How did he die? He died from a young lady that used her charm, her beauty, her personality, her sex appeal, and her figure. And King Herod said, up to half my kingdom I give you, just name it. All because, and she literally did a stripper dance. The only thing she was missing was the pole. Yep. She did all that dance, and she using those techniques, she won. So this is something I teach women. What I talk to men is okay, ladies, I know this is going to catch you wrong, but y'all got to let me finish. Every man should be able to walk into his house and look at his wife and say, go stand in the corner. And she gets up and goes stand in the corner.
They ain't going to like that one too much, but go ahead.
Right. But here is why she should do that. Because she knows.
That. I'm seeing you.
Right. But let me explain the rest of the story. She knows he'll never do anything to degrade her, dehumanize her, make fun of her, or make her feel anything less than a woman. So if he's telling her to go stand in the corner, there's some danger taking place there that he may not have time to explain. The rest of that statement, I always say, what if somebody's breaking in the house? What if danger's in the house? Yeah. And he knows if you're standing behind me, you're safe because I'm about to shoot this whole area in front of me. Right. If we sit there and explain to each other, then we're both dead. Yeah. So it's not something he's going to walk in and say, I'm tired of looking at you, go stand in the corner. So what that means for the man is he's demonstrated 3 of the most awesome things that will get him any place in this world, will make him stand out in any woman's eyes, and will carry him as far as he can ever go. Those are 3 things every man should have. One is character, one's integrity, and the other is honor. Because your woman looks at you and says, I don't agree with it, but you've never done anything on purpose to hurt me, make me look stupid, test your manhood, test your ego, disrespect me in any way, shape, or form. So you gonna tell me when I come out this corner, why I had to go in that corner, but I'm gonna go in the corner. But I am gonna be looking at you real funny. So they'll make those moves. So as a woman has those things, also with men, most men, we fight women the wrong way. We fight women using the outside of our arms, all this area here. The greatest fight for a woman is the inside of your arms. When you hug, hold, squeeze, and caress your woman, you calm her down because she's carrying a whole bunch of stress from the day. And she knows if I get home in his arms, I'm okay. That's my safe haven. That's my drop zone. I can dump everything on him. And we as men, we just take and throw it right out the window. Where most men mess up is, and God knows we mess this up, when our wives or girlfriends tell us a problem, we go automatic solution. And I tell men, your woman does not want you to solve her problem. She already knows what she's doing. What she's doing is she's establishing, initiating what we call intimacy. Also, I have found out that there are many wives who do not know how to romance their husbands. They have no clue. One of the things many women are doing, you think if you put on a negligee or put on some nice clothes, that's romance. That's not romance, that's sex. You got to get sex from your husband. Intimacy is what starts before sex. Intimacy is what goes on during sex. And intimacy is what goes on after sex. That's what intimacy is. Sex is just sex. But when you can romance your husband, and I give them exercises, and every woman has tried this exercise on her husband or boyfriend, husband, all he can do is giggle. That's all he can do is, it makes him automatically giggle because you cut through his total defense of tough, cool, smooth, and he giggles. That means he has no defense left. You've crashed through it. And now you're learning how to romance your husband. We as men, we learn how to romance women. We learn the wrong way, but we learn romance.
I heard that.
I also teach, and this is I also teach men. There are more men that leave the bedroom like this. Yeah.
Yep.
And there are more women lay in bed like, what just happened here?
Yep. True that.
So, excuse me a second. So this is where we go back to basics, and I teach how to please your wife, how to please your husband. We throw everything else out the window because what we're doing is we're bringing a lot of trash in from past relationships that probably didn't work then. And we think, okay, this works. I'm the greatest lover. Nah, you're just the greatest deceiver of yourself. So going back to those things in teaching, and this is where we establish communication, teaching couples how to communicate, because there's some very intimate things. I give them assignments they have to discuss. They have to discuss. It's comical, but this is what they do. I'm back open for questions.
Filled a whole lot of gaps in. I see a few smiles on faces.
So here I go again. Since
Get on down.
So I think some people see therapy as I don't know, changing yourself.
Yes.
Of which to a degree, you know, transformation has to happen. But case in point, I have 4 brothers. I have no sisters. I have 2 sons. I am a strong personality. I'm a woman.
Okay.
I'm a woman. But I also understand, and I tell anybody, my husband is the head of my household. But I do, and as a female executive, I have to carry myself in a certain way.
Why?
Why? Because I have to command a room during certain times.
So what changes about you when you walk into the room that you have, or what is it about walking into the room that you have to command?
I have to put myself on a level playing field, and I always have. I'm petite.
And what is that level playing field?
Being one of the executives in the room and not being someone who is ignored.
Okay. Here's what my statement to you would be: if what you're doing is working, if it's working, then continue to do it. But if what you're doing is not working, then why do you do it? You, based on what you're saying, and I'm going off what you just said, you ready?
I'm ready, go.
All right, here we go. Here we go. To me, it sounds like you're trying to be something other than yourself. You're made you, and that's all you can be. I'm just telling you what it sounds like. I didn't say what it is. I just said what it sounds like. When you step into the room, you can still command attention being you. I've tried to be that other person. It doesn't work well because now people don't know who to adjust to. I want everybody to know there's one person you adjust to, that's me, not this guy, or this guy. I can be 4 or 5 different people, because now people start looking at you going, okay, who's sitting in the chair today? I have fired people with a smile. We went out to eat. I'm like, hey man, I'm fired, but let's go get some lunch. And just let you know, hey, it's not working out. There's nothing, no big issue. And these are people that were armed.
Right.
They're locked and loaded.
But I agree with Renee though.
Okay.
Because sometimes as a woman, especially in different positions, it's not like you're being another person, but you have to show that sign of authority, because like most of the work that I do is older white males.
Okay.
And I remember I did a training not too long ago, and I was the only female, and of course the only black. Well, I was the only black female. There were 2 black guys in there, and I was in there with electricians, the iron workers. It was all laborers. And it was a 5-day training, and for the first 2 days, those guys, not one of them spoke to me except for one of the black men. Only one black man spoke to me each day. And then on the 3rd day, we had to give presentations. So when I gave my presentation, let me put it, okay, so I dressed like a girl. I was dressed like a female the first couple of days. The 3rd day, I put on my steel-toe boots, my jeans, and just a top, a shirt, not a blouse, and the whole demeanor. All of their demeanors changed when I gave my presentation and told them what I did and who I was.
Okay.
And it should not have been like that. Then all of them wanted my business card. They all wanted to do work with me. So I understand where Renee's coming from, because it's like I had to become hard all of a sudden.
You have to make your presence known.
Yeah, and that was ridiculous to me, but that's what I saw.
Okay, I see it a little different. I'm not saying you're wrong. If it works for you, keep doing it. If it doesn't work, then why do you still do it? What I saw, based on what you said, and I can only go off of what you just told me, they saw that you were willing to work with them, not that you were a black woman or whatever. We all see that if you can get on the floor and work with me, if you can come down, okay, now I know you feel my pain, you know my pain. Sometimes we will look at things the wrong way, and I just ask that we be careful. These are what I call silver bullets, and you got to be careful how you fire them, because you only get a certain amount of silver bullets a year, a month. Before I go black, I want to make sure that I've exhausted all the other bases. So there are some people I've worked with where I step in, I say, hey man, let me give you a hand. I'm helping you, because when I help you, I'm also helping myself. So those people are now willing to say, hey, you understand what we do, because the last guy before looked down on us. You work with us. I'm very careful how I break or how I approach the friendship barrier, because some people cannot handle that. So I work with them for a few minutes, break that, then all of a sudden I step away, because I feel they don't understand leadership and subordinate. And they may try to elevate themselves up to my level or bring me down to theirs. That's not a straight across the board. You'll learn those people individually. But yeah, I would look at you the same way and say, okay, hey, you're one of us, good to go. But I wouldn't, for me, I wouldn't stay on the floor. I don't want you to think I'm always coming in and going to the floor. I may work a couple of minutes with you. Hey man, you good? I got to run. So you know I've done this before. I'm capable of doing it. I can adjust to it at any time. But I had to learn, when you step in a management position, they hire you to be a manager. They do not hire you to be a worker. A simple way to get people to follow you and understand who's in charge. When I ran into that situation before, I would walk to my office, sit at my desk, and then call the people into my office. It's a subliminal way of letting them know you got to get up from your desk, walk all the way back to see me. I'm going to ask you a stupid question and send you back. That just solidified in your mind, you're walking to see me. I'm not walking to see you. I've just proved my point, and I didn't have to be a jerk, an idiot, or anything about it. I can go to jerk and idiot mode without a problem, but I prefer to kill you with kindness so you can't say anything. Sometimes it's just how we read it. I am not saying you're wrong, but I just looked at it differently, and you could be totally correct. Our daughter, but you could be totally correct.
Okay.
So
I was just thinking, because people, well, in the case for me, and it sounds like even for Renee, they have preconceived notions. What they told me later on was they thought I was somebody's secretary that sent me there, or admin person.
And
right,
we're not management. We are business owners. We are
right.
So, but you are management. When you step into a place, if you own a business, you're a CEO.
Correct, but I don't work for you. So
Right.
you shouldn't have certain expectations.
But you can't tell me what I can't have.
That's true.
So now, and this is where, when I do the coaching standpoint, look at me, examine me, and see how you can use what I bring to the table to benefit you, not to change me, to benefit. There are some people that have that male chauvinistic, egotistical attitude you can use to benefit your company, and you don't have to change them.
You can
Yeah.
use it as long
When
as
you
you are
go-
being acknowledged.
Right. But sometimes you're asking for something you haven't earned. And that's man, woman, all the way across the board. You have to, for me, you have to earn my respect. Then I'll freely give it to you. Where we mess up is we want to walk in and tell them who we are. I know who you are. No, I'm not saying you. So if that rock hits you, just duck and slide to the side. Slide to the left, slide to the right.
Because
These are the
typically
things-
we're not going to say anything.
Right, but sometimes-
we are going to appear in a room of people
Okay.
and be one of few and be ignored.
Okay. You're never ignored.
Mhm.
Here's the thing
Yeah.
you have to understand. This is where, well, I'm going down that road where they
Go
stone,
ahead.
shoot, and
I
kill.
told Steve, I'm like, he's opening up a can. It's
Get
open.
on down.
Say it.
But, hey, we're all benefiting from this. You can believe that.
Yes.
You are never ignored. When you walk into a room, this is the thing most women miss. As a woman, when you walk into the room, you are automatically noticed.
True that.
You are automatically noticed. The rest of this now belongs to you. How is your introduction? How is your presentation? How do you reach the people? Here's one of the things I look at. If you look in scripture, Jesus was never called a great teacher, or excuse me, a great instructor. He was always called a great teacher. The difference is with the teacher and the instructor says you have to come up here. That's what you find in colleges. Your homework assignment is this, have it done by next week. The teacher says, where did I lose you? I'll meet you there. I'll meet you where you are to take you where I want to be. When you step into a relationship, into a business, whatever it is, you have to learn how to meet each employee where they are and get them to be that top employee. I've been in a situation where one of my employees, he just wanted somebody to say, I'm proud of you. That's all he wanted. When I told him I was proud of him, his work process picked up like crazy. I had no clue what I said. I had to go back and remember the speech. So a couple of days later, I'm telling everybody, man, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
I heard that.
So
Everybody
we
else.
think this is where I believe we make a mistake in small businesses. I have to learn to reach every person where they are and get them to where I want them to be. In the counseling field, I want you to get to a position where you feel you're healthy, not where I feel you're healthy, where you feel you're healthy. I want to get you to a position where you feel you can handle it. I don't counsel couples or people every week. If I counsel you this week, I won't see you again till 2 weeks unless there's an emergency. I tell you within 2 to 3 weeks, call me, because I want you to function on your strength, not mine. Because if I see couples every week, you're on my strength. My name is coming up in all your conversations. Well, let's call John. Let's call John. Let's call John. No, it's time for you. You have to get that strength where you can function. And other than that, I'm taking your money. I tell them, if you want to send it to me anyway, go ahead. And then it takes them about 2 weeks to do the homework assignment, because the homework assignment really takes them out of their comfort zone. They leave that because for some women, they forget what it is to be a woman. I give them assignments to remind them. For some men, they forget what it is to be a man. I give them assignments. These are the things you have to do. I teach people how to pour into each other rather than draining each other. So these are the things. I've been in the CEO position. I've managed a company. I've been top level in many things. And one of the things I had to learn, my company is as strong as its weakest link. That is a true statement.
Mhm.
And if you don't find that weak link and strengthen that weak link, When that weak link breaks, the company may break. So this is where we strengthen the weakest link. That's where we walk through. And I have a thing I use called MBWA, which is management by walking around. I walk and I talk, and I'm communicating with each person that works under me so I can understand what their needs, what their frustrations, I don't promise to solve anything, but I do promise to listen. Once I'm listening to them, they realize they have an ear, and I also realize who I can partner them up with. Maybe there's somebody else I'm working with, I can put them as a team on certain projects. Or, you know what, this guy needs, or this girl needs some one-on-one, let me get some outside help to come in and slowly work with them. But then I have to learn how to present this so they don't feel weird, indifferent, or just crazy. I work on my presentation. So there are many things I believe we pick up, and I am really, leadership frustrates me. I'm really big on leadership because as the leader goes, so does the rest of the company. The company will take on the personality of the leader. They always do. If you have a leader that's business oriented, the company is now business oriented. If you have a leader that's lackadaisical, the company sure is. So I'm big on leadership because leadership, if you fix leadership, you can fix 80 to 90% of all the problems there.
Okay, where were you 4 years ago with this guy? Why did we have you down there at 1600?
You know what?
Some things.
Pennsylvania Avenue.
They needed weekly. I'm telling you, they didn't need bi-weekly, they needed weekly.
But now, and you make a good point, and let me give you a comment on that. This is also what great leaders have to recognize. I have to recognize when I'm sharing wisdom with someone who's not ready for it.
Right.
And sometimes that's what drives us crazy when we go, I've told you 1,000 times. Well, 1,000 times this person is not ready for it.
Yes, sir.
So we tend to beat people down. No, if I give you advice and you rebut it, I'm done with it.
Mm-hmm.
I am totally done.
Yes.
I'm not done with you, but I'm
Yep.
done giving you advice.
Yeah.
So now you have to learn. And when you come to me and say, and there's some code words, keywords you will say, when I hear those words, okay, now you're ready to receive instruction. Until then, I'm casting pearls before swine.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Yep.
only thing upset when you wash a pig is you get dirty and the pig feels comfortable.
Yeah.
So that's where many leaders mess up is we try to force people into things and they're not ready for it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Good words. Good words.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
We all received it, John. I appreciate that, bro.
Thank you.
Y'all will get a bill in a little while.
That's what I was getting ready to say. I'm glad you did it pro bono. Is Stephanie still out there?
No, it looks like she dropped.
She dropped off. I saw
One last thing.
You guys recorded this. I can go back and listen.
I'm also working on my second book, which is called How to Love Your Wife. It covers a lot of things in there that we as men have totally taken the wrong way, and it's damaged so many relationships. All these things that are in the book, I've tested, they're tried, they're true, they work. I've been using it for about 4 years now, and they just established the relationship on a much better plane where the man is comfortable being the man, the woman is comfortable being the woman, and they're very comfortable working as a team. So it just works pretty good. Hope to have that published end of this year, maybe beginning of next year.
Okay. All righty. Well, Walton, did I hear Laverne chime in? Was that Laverne?
Yes.
Yes,
Laverne is
sir,
on.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad we're recording. Well, Laverne,
Do
you
you have a
remember?
proofreader for that book, sir?
Say your question again, please.
Do you have a proofreader for your book?
I've had two. They've yet to get back with me. Not as of yet.
Okay.
I'm waiting. What's the question for?
Tell me what you do, Laverne.
Okay.
I would proof it for you.
Who said that?
I am May and Laverne.
I'm May and Laverne.
I've only been married 52 years, so I might be able to learn something.
True.
Yeah.
I've already edited 6 books.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
One of the things I tell women, the book is written for men, so it's written from a standpoint of a man. Take, for example, one of the things that I caution men on. There's a statement that sounds good to women, but I think it's straight out of the back door of hell, and it's called "Happy Wife, Happy Life."
Mhm. Yep.
I believe that's straight out of the back door of hell, because what I was communicating was, a lady told me something a few years ago. She said, "John, we don't even know what makes us happy."
Mhm.
And I give you a crazy example, and I'm sure in the Black community we've seen this tremendous amount of times. You guys ever went someplace to see a woman doing this?
Yeah.
Come on and talk to me, because I think that's about the dumbest thing a woman could do to herself. Talk to me.
Now, I can understand this is her first time going to get that done, so she knows it's tight. But these women go back to this lady to put these braids in that tight, and the hair may grow
Yep.
of an inch,
Yep.
and then they go back. Now, you want me as a man to understand that, and my DNA can't grab it. Here's the other thing, and as comical as it sounds, I think every woman can relate to this. A woman will go in a store, see a pair of shoes, a size or 2 sizes small, and she'll buy them. And you ask her, "Why did you buy the shoes?" And her response is, ladies, you know the answer.
They were cute.
They cute.
Yep.
And then she will wear them out to go dancing. And then when the guy says, "Would you like to dance?" she says, "Not in these shoes." And the man says, "Why did you wear them?" And she says, "Because they're cute."
See, I know my gender very well. I'm 100% female, but some of the stuff women do is about as asinine as all get out. I agree with you on both points.
So
I am not slapping myself upside my head. I'm going to find something to spray on my head to make it, comfortable. I am not going, if I can't spread my entire feet out in a pair of shoes, I am not wearing them. I will give them away. If they might fit okay in the store, but if I can't spread my feet and they feel comfortable in that shoe, I am not buying that shoe. I don't get it. And I love shoes. I love cute shoes, but anything that causes me pain, I'm not with it. Period. There's nothing feminine about that at all. I don't get it.
No, I'm not.
John,
I'm not doing that. Life is way too short for.
my wife beats her head. Plus, she puts that spray, that's astringent stuff in there.
Well, now I'm blessed because I have a young lady that braids my hair, and my head is pain-free. She does not braid my hair to where I lose all circulation and thought in my brain.
Exactly.
I'm just, that other myth of you gotta go through pain to be beautiful, that's a bunch of crap too.
That is a lie.
I told a lady the other day, I was in the store and she was doing that, and I told her, I said, "I got a business where I'll slap you side of the head for 30 minutes for $40. And she just looked at me. She was like, "I said, yeah, I'll do that for 30 minutes for $40.
Don't have a clue. That's because they keep beating themselves upside the head. They ain't got no sense.
Right.
Beat it out.
Yeah.
But this is, and even though that's comical, imagine trying to please, as a man, as a young husband, I'm trying to please somebody, and this is their way of thinking. So what it does, it sets men on a proper path to say, that concept of happy wife, happy life doesn't work. It will drive you crazy. You'll be smoking cognac and drinking marijuana.
I heard that.
So
Yeah.
it will.
I agree with you.
Drinking marijuana. All right.
Yep.
So that's how.
It's because I grew up around a lot of my male cousins, and most of my friends were men. I just hung out. I knew their language, and I just relate to them better. There's some things about women that it's like, oh my God, how can you? I can't even put it into words.
Right. So, and that's the part where we get confused, because I'm trying to make this person happy, and what made them happy today does not make them happy tomorrow. So it sets men on a course of, you stay this course. This is the course you stay. The big thing that most men misunderstand is there's nowhere ever written that says, husbands, make your wife obey. It's no place.
Right.
You set the course. If she follows, fine. If she doesn't follow, you still stay on course. You have to stay on course. It's up to her whether she follows or what. But she was never directed to lead. She was directed to follow. So you have to set the precedence of, I am worthy to be followed. I'm not perfect. I'm going to do a screw up, but I'm worthy to lead. I'm worthy to follow. We can make this as a team. But what I caution men is, do not get fear of failure.
Yeah.
The only way to learn in this world is we're going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
It's not a mistake if you learn. It's an elimination process. If I have 900 choices, well, I know now I got 800. I got 899, 898.
Hey, yeah.
So I'm eliminating what does not work. I never fail. I've just eliminated what doesn't work. So when my kids come along, I can look at my kids like our parents used to look at us and go, that ain't gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I may not, and we've heard the old people say, I may not be able to tell you what to do, but I can definitely tell you what not to do.
That's right.
Because we've eliminated, we know that don't work.
Right.
But the key to what you were saying is you have to be worthy of it. I mean, I have a fantastic man. That's why I've stayed with him for 53 years, 52 years going on 53. And I know he's not perfect, but neither am I. So together we can work out the as perfect as we can get, which will never be. The only perfect person is God. But he is worthy of me staying with him, regardless of whatever mistakes,
have you told him
lack
that?
of a better word, that happened.
Have you told him that?
That's why he's still here.
Have you told him that?
Oh, yes.
When was the last time you told him?
Probably a couple of days ago.
What happened to today?
I hadn't seen him because he'd been at dialysis, but I tell him every day.
When he come home, are you planning on telling him?
I always tell him. That's what keeps us. And if there's a situation where I have gotten stubborn enough not to do it, I always write him a letter.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's why you married for so long. Because I'm about to ask, I'm like, John, am I supposed to do that every day?
Or when I'm really upset with him, I don't want to say anything because I'll say something wrong. I'll write it down
that you can't,
and then wait a little while, read it to see if it makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
And
if I'm still feeling that way,
I have been
and if
married
I
for
am,
23 years,
it's
John.
easier to give it to him in writing because then he has the opportunity to respond and tell me why.
Here is, I'll share something with you for women. This is from a male DNA. You guys talk too much. Let me explain what I mean. We as men, we have a 5-minute attention span. That's all you're going to get. We may go to 7. We may go to 7. When I ran a company, when I'm in charge of something, I tell my people, if you have a request, you better make it 2 sentences or less. If it's 2 sentences or less, I'm looking at it, approving it, disapproving it, we're done. If you give me a 2-page justification on something, it's going to the bottom of my pile. So what I teach women is tell your husband what's important and that's it. What you're going to do is now he knows what he's dealing with and you're going to teach him how to increase his attention span. An example would be, hey baby, Friday night we're going to eat. He's like, okay, where are we going to eat? Now he's ready to receive more information. We're going to eat this place. Okay, is this formal or informal? Notice now he doesn't walk away going, what did I just agree to?
Mm-hmm.
Because once you get past 5 minutes, we will look at you like you guys are looking at me. But we're in Texas someplace.
Yeah.
If you mention, like if my wife is talking to me and she mentions car, I'm thinking, I got to get that car tuned up. Yeah. So when I come back in, I'm going, yeah, baby, sure. I go downstairs, I'm thinking, what did I just agree to? So I teach women, cut all the chatter, get to the point, and we will ask for more chatter to get more information. I teach men just the opposite. Give them the chatter. What you have to understand, and this is where most women mess up so drastically, you're fighting my DNA. You cannot fight my DNA. It's just me. That's how I am. So I want stuff straight to the point. Okay, cool. I used to tell my wife when I got home from work, baby, 1,000 words or less, 1,000 words or less.
Especially when I always was taught that when they first come in from work, give them space to unwind from
Amen.
the challenges of the day. Don't come in with a list of everything that happened to you today and pretty much, let them regroup. And then, if he says something, like, how was your day? Or, if he comes in, what's for dinner? I'm just me. I made sure he was comfortable. I made sure he was fed. And whatever challenges of that day, I just had to work through them. And if it was something really pressing, I tried to maybe discuss something. I definitely didn't do nothing in the bedroom. That's for sleeping and intimacy. Everything else, find another place in the house to have other discussions or whatever. That was what I understood.
Okay, here's a trick to help you out, women. Understanding a male DNA. Women can talk about their problems any place. When a man walks in the house, he is kind of like a knight in shining armor coming in from the battlefield. He starts taking off everything. When a man sits in a chair, and I have a thing I call when he scoots his poop, when you see his hips push out like that, all conversation is done.
Mm-hmm.
He has tuned you out. All he's trying to do is there are 4 things that will move a man, maybe 5. What's to eat? What's to eat? Where's the remote? Would you like something to drink? Would you like some sex? Where's the bathroom? Those are only 4 things we're going to respond to.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of it, we're just zoned out. Now, if you want to talk, and this is where you have to learn how to read your husband.
Mm-hmm.
More women get upset, and they know the answer, but they don't recognize it as the answer. They say, you come home, you never talk to me, but every time we go places, you talk to everybody else. But when we are alone, you never talk to me. That's how you read your husband. So what your husband is doing is, when he gets dressed and goes out the door, he puts his armor back on. Now he's ready to talk.
Mm-hmm.
When he comes back in the house, he's not ready to talk. So knowing I can get this man to talk when I get him out the house. So we plan activities out the house, meaning we go for walks, we buy a dog, take the dog for a walk. We go bowling, we go do all these things. Now we can communicate, and he's back in his knight in armor, ready to fight. But when most men walk in the house and you see them slide their butt down in that chair, conversation's done.
That's it. The day is done.
You're going to get a series of grunts.
That's my size. Yeah.
Now with us, that's a 30-page essay we just communicated with you. To you, you're like, he never talks to me. And you'll ask your husband, you say, I do talk to you. You said what I want to eat, and I went, And we're going, you ought to know by now, means what you cook.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you run your girlfriend, we never communicate. The problem is choosing where to communicate.
Yeah,
On this battlefield, him no talking.
Yeah.
On this battlefield, him talk a lot.
Yeah.
I need to get him on this battlefield.
Battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
And when he gets on this battlefield, what he does, he starts realizing you are not the enemy. You're not trying to break down my defense. You actually care about me. Now I'll talk to you a little bit more on this battlefield, this battlefield, this battlefield. Another thing that frustrates women, and they don't get it, when a man walks in the house and you say, baby, how was your day? And he said, fine, leave it alone.
Yeah.
Because what he's going to do is he's actually going to go downstairs and think about, how was my day? We as men, and every woman has said this, we're childish. We haven't grown to the phase you guys are. Y'all go from 1 to 60 of maturity in 4 days. We go from 1 to 60 in 600 years. We're going to take our time getting there.
Yeah.
So when we tell you it's fine, leave it alone, because in about an hour or so, we're going to walk past you and say, so guess what happened on the job today?
Mm-hmm.
Now we're opening up. We've calmed down. We've evaluated. We're opening up. If you say, well, you never talk to me, I'm still not going to talk to you. Well, you don't tell me how your day went. There's nothing to tell. I look at you as being intrusive.
Yeah.
You want me to look at you as just being my help, my comfort, whatever it is I need, you're there. So when I come back upstairs, I see you cooking. Guess what happened today? You won't believe what Bob said. Now we're opening up because we no longer view you as threatening. Now we'll share and open things with you.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Agreed.
And that's the time that we're supposed to be quiet and just smile
Yes.
and totally agree with you and say, yes, dear. Oh, I'm so sorry that happened.
And rub my head.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Come on, rub my head.
And
And
let me-
then turn your face, roll your eyes, and come back and smile.
Yeah.
this is where, and also this is,
Marriage and parenting is not for cowards. You,
Whatever
whatever happens
to come out
in
too.
your home when he's not home, you're gonna have to just work with it and deal with it. And when he gets home, make sure he can woosah and let the evening do what it do.
Well, John, I'm sorry this involved in all this, man.
Oh, this is great.
That's what I do.
It has been great. It
What
has
I
been
do.
great.
Most of it, when you think about it, is so transferable into the workplace because most of the time, when you see these men in work and they're stressed out, they've carried this stuff from home into the workplace. And
That's
that's
correct.
the concern now is that as people, once businesses start opening up, because we've been having lots of conversations on the increase in violence in the workplace, definitely the increase in domestic violence in the workplace, all of that because people have been stuck at home. And so now we need to know how to diffuse it once we get back into work. And so this is really timely because we're talking about it. And I'm sure John's, his work is probably going to increase because people need that out. And right now, I think people are just at a loss, like you said, in their home, and now they're discovering themselves. And for some people, it's not a pretty scene.
Right.
And when you look at the stats, it's showing. And so companies now are talking about that. They're talking about, because I'm having to write that or include that in the health and safety plans that we're putting together for companies. You know, what does your safety protocol look like, and have you omitted domestic violence? Is that a part of it? So, yeah.
But this is where you, and we're all leaders, and if we all get a chance to manage and work with people, this is where we have to make ourselves, remember I told you I'm really hard on leadership because leadership is very important. This is where I have to be able to see, I know each and every one of my employees, and I got to be able to go and see, you know what, this guy's haven't been the same in a couple of days.
Right.
Let me see what's going on. And I'm not going up to him and say, hey, what problems do you have? I just want to go and stand and talk to him because slowly but surely he's going to say something and then I can go in that door. I don't go through doors that are not open.
Right.
Like I ain't open the door, so I went through that door.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So once they open the door, I go in and say, well, how you working with that? What are you dealing with it? Hey, man. And so many people now in your business section will feel I'm the only one going through this.
Right.
So I'm ashamed to talk about it. But this is when you let them know, hey, I've been there. I walked that road. I've got friends that have been on that road. I'm from that road. So you're in good company. We're together. Let's see how we can help each other. Hey, this is what I did. This is what I did. This is what I did. And it worked for me. Try it. So this is where leaders sometimes err because we automatically want to push the problem totally to someone else. But in leadership, that's what we do. That's what we do.
So one more question.
Go ahead.
Question, John. So you've got a book that you've written. You're in the middle of finishing up another book. Do you have any webinars or is there any place where someone can go and
not as of yet
watch what we've done tonight?
No, because one of the things I'm cautious of webinars because some people like to apply these things to their spouse rather to themselves.
Okay.
And one of the things I do when couples get together, I always tell people the one who contacts me, that's the one that God is trying to reach. If the woman contacts me, that's because God is through trying to talk to the husband, so now he's going through the wife. If the husband contacts me, then he's the one that God is trying to reach to lead his family correctly, and he's not listening. So whoever contacts me, that's the one that God is trying to reach and been trying to reach. So, but what I found out is when I see people, many years ago, I used to be a personal trainer, and I see people do the application, but they apply it totally incorrectly. And I would walk up to them and say, what are you doing? And they say, well, I'm working my arms. Okay, why are you doing legs? Or something like that. So people get information, but they misapply the information they have, and they mess everything up. Well, this guy John said we need to do this. Before I give people assignments, as I've done you guys today, I have you agree to it. I set you up, but I have you agree to it. Once you agree to it, you're more easily to do it. If my wife walks in with a homework assignment, well, I saw this guy, he said we need to do this, you better believe I ain't doing it.
You got that right.
I'm gonna tell her, you and that guy, y'all go do whatever y'all got to do. But you go fix something to eat first, and then y'all go do what you got to do. But that's where people misapply. It's kind of like going to church. Ooh, they go home. Ooh, the pastor preached about you today.
Mm-hmm.
I know I ain't going to that church next week because you done told them everything.
Big mistake.
So it's learning to apply those things to yourself. Then I apply it to others. Once you've done what you're supposed to do, same thing with women. God never told you to make your husband lead. There's an assignment for the woman. There's an assignment for the man. There are no ifs, ands, or buts. I tell men, if she doesn't lead, you keep going. God will do the whipping. He'll do the whipping, and then he'll do the moving or the removing. Same thing with the woman. You do what you're supposed to do. God will do the whipping, or he'll do the moving or the removing. Let him do his thing. You just keep on going. How do you know when it takes place? Because as a guy told me one time, when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, you know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. We
I'm
good?
so glad we had this time
Yeah,
together.
you're fine. Well, me too. I'm sure everybody else is too, John. That was real good, man. I'm gonna give you a 5 on that one, man. You did real good, my brother. Walter didn't have a chance to get on tonight because he just texted me and said he's still tied up with his boss. But Hope, Operation Hope, got some grant funds, but there's not going to be any funds that we can get as the round table. But there are funds that some of the companies that we'll be working with and trying to help, we can set them up for the funds. And he was going to run to us exactly how it was going to work. And that's why he was, but he wasn't able to get on it because his boss called him and they had to do a conference call at 5:15. But so the leadership, can we do a leadership next Monday at the same time?
You guys sure can.
Yep. This is Renee, Michelle, Ina,
Yeah.
Mary,
We
Laverne.
make it 6:30.
Take it as long as you
6:30.
want, Steve.
Yeah, okay.
Do it
6:30.
Do it for 4 hours.
Because we have the meeting with the committee, Michelle and I, on Friday. Plus, we need to follow up with this one. Walter needs to share with us so we can see how we're going to implement the hope stuff into what we're trying to do also.
Okay.
Next Monday works.
Fine with me.
6:30 is fine. It's fine with me too.
Okay.
Renee, you gonna send this recording out to everybody?
Yep.
Thank you.
I think you guys should do it from 6 to 10:30, Steve.
No, we try to get through it, man. We try to stay.
No, take your time, man. Take your time. 6 to 10:30. And call Lorinda when y'all done.
I heard that. We try not to tie up more than an hour.
Whatever. I have been here listening.
Yeah,
I have been paying attention. I've been listening to the whole conversation, people.
heard that. Sounds good to me.
We love you too.
Yep,
Love you
Well,
more.
Boy, when they're guilty, they jump up, don't they?
I heard that. Okay.
Just so the committee knows, Laverne and I did discuss the Clayton Cares grant and we found out we were not in a position to apply for that grant just yet. So that just lets us know that we do have some homework that we need to do, but we're well on our way because Renee, I did take a look at the one that you all did apply for. So that was great. So, you know, once again, we're just getting into the grant scene and all of that. So, and I do want you all to know that when we do get all of our ducks in a row, Dr. Defoe is a wonderful resource. I can't stress that enough. She is so awesome, and remember, she's global, so she's able to provide us with all kinds of stuff, but we have to have all of the elements together. She's not used to having to put it together. She's used to it being put together and then, you know, working from there. So, and one of the things that I'm going to stress, one of the areas that she's definitely good in is the customer service. And that is something that Clayton County businesses need. I don't know, you know, if you're like me, I'm a stickler. I shop for customer service before I shop for service and product.
Yeah, is she in town? I forgot to ask about her. She's not on. I didn't even realize she wasn't even on.
I talked to her yesterday, Saturday, over the weekend. She's here.
She's here? Oh, okay. Maybe she just forgot about the meeting tonight.
Yeah, because she's got a lot. Or she might have left. I mean, you know, it don't take her but a minute to hop on a plane.
Yeah.
Be in Costa Rica or somewhere again.
You ain't lying. She be gone. That woman's gone, Jack. But
yeah. But
okay.
You know, because people want her to do grants, so as they call her, she goes. You know.
Right.
So I just think that we just have to be mindful of that and really start thinking about, you know, allowing maybe customer service to be one of the first things that we get out there because it is already a packaged product.
Okay. Well, next Monday is I want to start going over and start trying to fill in some of those holes that we have. So, you know, so we'll start working on that Monday. That's another reason why I want us to meet Monday evening, 6:30.
Okay.
We can get on that stuff also. Okay. Does anyone have anything else?
Everybody emails that Belinda Ellaby sent out?
Well, I mean, anytime she sends me anything, I'll make sure I forward it out to everybody. So
some really good training that she sent out.
Yeah, I forwarded it to everybody.
Okay.
Yep.
The ones that's coming up on those Thursdays, the 10th.
Wednesday.
The Wednesdays. Yeah, I sent that out to everybody.
Okay. Well, that might be Thursday. I don't know. I got a couple of them down here, so.
I'll tell you in a second. Hold on. It's Thursdays. It's Thursdays. It's the Google workshop on Thursdays.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Myers, you definitely have at least two good people that I believe will be very objective in the review and proofreading of your manuscript. I'm mostly
doctor.
I mostly look at grammar, of course, because I proofread from the perspective of I'm reading this book myself. So there's a certain way I'm looking for it to flow. Typos is deadly because it does take away from your train of thought of what you're trying to get across to the reader. So I edit from a reader's perspective. So I look for a flow in the turning of the pages. I look for a flow in the train of thought, the points that are being brought out, you know, and there's very little that I've had to actually go back to the author and say, you need to rethink this. No, if that's what you've been given, if that's the vision and the mission that you have been given to write what you are writing, I stick to that. I just make sure that the sentences make sense, that everything flows where a person reading it can understand it and come out with the end result that you anticipated that person to have when they read your book.
Right. What I ask for women when women read the book, I ask them, is this something you would like your son to know in leading his family?
Absolutely.
So it's written from that standpoint. If women read it, it's just, like I said, those are just some things that go through. It's just changing men's perspective because we've picked up some crazy mess.
Yeah, we have, men and women, and especially in our culture.
Okay.
So if we can get as men, our women to believe in us, not if she do or not, that's up to her. But if we can set the standard where she knows she can believe in me, we'll see a lot less stress on her face and more calmness on her face. So it's implementing that, but it's also implementing to women, to men, to tell men, I will never ask my woman to step down and let me lead. I will never do that. And no woman should ever do that. But as a man, I will step up to lead. But I'll never try to step up by making her step down. That's destroying the relationship. I'm just going to step up.
Yeah.
She can still stay where she is. So I'll climb, it's like climbing a ladder, and I reach down and I'll pull her above me, and then she'll pull me above her. And that's how we do it as a team. So it's breaking this social media, this,
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
you know, all this crazy stuff we're picking up, and it's filtered into our Black homes. And we don't have anybody there to say, that's about the stupidest thing I've ever heard, son.
Well, thank you for doing it, because I've got two sons that I would definitely put your book in their hand, because I've always been an advocate of men understanding themselves and their position as men, definitely men of color, as heads of their homes, and making sure that they're connecting to women that, you know, can be that support and undergirding, but at the same token respecting who God created her to be too.
And I'll leave you with one last thing.
Emotional health.
One of the things I tell men is interview and interview and interview and interview and interview. What I mean by that is, I want a woman that will be my helpmate. So I'm interviewing her. I'm not interviewing her for sex. I'm not interviewing, because if I interview for sex, that's where the interview stops. If I interview that she can cook, that's where the interview stops. If I interview if she can make a butt clap, that's where the interview stops. If I interview if she can twerk, that's where it stops. I want a full 360 interview, because this is my helpmate. And she has to be able to say, I can support that plan. And God has a way of taking the fact that she can support that plan, and whatever plan she's on will now overlap with my plan, and we both succeed.
Absolutely.
We can grow as an awesome business, but when men don't interview, and also, like I said, it's for men, same thing for women, but when men don't interview, then there are two personalities in women. I break women down in two personalities. You can do the same thing for men, but this is about women. I'm teaching men. There's the princess, and then there's the queen. The princess says, you're going to do everything for me.
Yeah.
You're gonna treat me as a princess. The queen says, I protect my king at all costs.
I feel you.
And she's the queen on the chest. I protect my king at all costs.
They different.
Because he's the king, I protect him. The princess is, what are you gonna buy me? What are you gonna do for me? Where are we gonna go? What are we gonna do? You haven't taken me. That's what you interviewed for. So I teach men, interview for a queen.
Yeah.
Because when you're down, she's up. When she's down, then you can be up. When Superman goes down, Superwoman steps up. When she sees Superman step up, she puts back on her shirt and pants, and she now goes, Superman got it.
Yeah.
So I always tell men, interview for a queen. She protects you at all costs. You interview for a princess, you might get a meal every now and then.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's true.
And it will come flying at you.
Okay, y'all, we're going a little bit over what we usually do, so we're gonna have to go ahead and cut this. But I sent out the contact list to everybody. Everybody should have received the up-to-date contact list with everybody's up-to-date phone numbers and emails on there. So, you know, we can reach out to each other as we feel we need to.
Yes.
Okay, is everybody up on that?
Yeah.
Okay. So 6:30 next week. Does anybody have any closing comments? Any announcement? Anything they want to share before we close?
You know that's Thanksgiving, right?
Not Monday.
No.
No.
Oh, you said next week. I thought
Next Monday.
I'd give thanks every day.
I heard that. Me too.
Amen.
Thanksgiving
Me too.
every day.
I know I'm blessed to see another day every day.
I know that's right. Every morning I wake up, I thank you, Jesus. I don't
You ain't
say
lying.
nothing else until I tell him thank you.
You ain't lying. So
And,
okay.
and not since I've been older. I've been doing that all my life.
I hear you.
Because when you see people come and go, You at all ages, you respect life.
I feel you. Okay. All right,
Miss Ina and Laverne, if you guys can send me your email address, and when I get it complete, I'll forward everything to you.
you got it.
That would be a blessing.
I sent you a contact list.
It would be our honor.
Steve, this is my conversation. Can I do my thing? I want Gib to do my thing.
Hey, there's a reason I sent out the contact list.
I want Gib to do my thing.
You just wasting my time.
I just, they're doing that around.
I sent them for a reason.
I want Gib to do my thing.
I heard that.
All right, I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How do you accept, your customers or your clients?
Living.
Huh?
Living.
I know, but no.
No,
My
do
brother-
you
my brother's coming to
cash and
town.
carry, insurance? How do you do that?
I think I told you that before, but
No insurance.
in town for like a couple of days before probably this week. I think he's trying to get a flight Thursday. He may be here Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I just want to know how to proceed from there.
Just give me a call and we'll set it up. Like I said, I don't complicate the simple. Call me, we'll
Okay.
set up the appointment. The benefit to me is my sessions are not timed.
Okay.
I've had a 5-hour session. I've had 4.5 hours.
Okay.
So that it's one flat rate. Usually healing takes place within 1 to 2 sessions,
Mhm.
and couples are using all the tools and they're good.
Okay.
My email is in the chat. My
Thank you
email
very
and phone
much.
number.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you, John. This was great. I
I'm
took
looking
notes.
forward
I
to
really
that.
did.
That's gonna be a good read and a good publishing.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
needed.
I have 2 sons and 2 grandsons, so it'll be helpful.
Absolutely.
Feel you.
It's good coming from the male perspective on both ends.
Uh-huh.
Well, I figured John would have a lot to say that you guys would want to hear, so that's why I had him speak tonight.
Well, he usually has a lot to say, but
Hey,
anyway.
hey, I can hear you. You know I can hear you, right?
I feel
This
you.
is good stuff.
Yeah.
Really.
It's not just a whole lot of wah, 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 wah.
Yep.
Somehow I'm feeling the love.
Okay, well, I guess if that's everything, I guess we can call it, y'all.
Amazing Grace, yes.
Dinner time?
Huh?
We didn't cut into your dinner time?
No, I ate previous.
Oh, good. Okay.
I ate before the meeting tonight to make sure I didn't have to be rushing off.
Good.
Yeah, that was good.
His wife told him, if you want to eat, you better cook, because I'm out of here.
No, I'm supposed to eat by 6 o'clock,
Now,
John.
if I cook, you better come eat it now.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what she said.
yeah.
All righty. Everybody have a
You got me working over that hot stove and then don't come and eat it.
Amen, amen.
All right.
I heard that.
Okay, everybody, if that's it, I'll see everybody, I'll see the leadership team on Monday evening.
All right,
You
have a
guys
blessed week.
have a blessed one. I will be in touch.